Hi, welcome to TechRanch, a place where we learn and earn technical skills in the most efficient way. Let's make coding fun. Data structure, stack. Today, we are going to present you a live demonstration of how to implement stack data structure in Java. Before we get into the implementation, let's first see what is actually stack. Stack is a type of a linear data structure which works on the pile of the data or object, while insertion and deletion of items takes place at one end called top of the stack, and while checking the conditions of underload or overflow and underflow is based on the top and the bottom pointer of the stack. The most important concept to understand about stack type of data structure is it follows last in first out. So basically when you pour water in a cup or a coffee, so you were putting it from the top of the cup and it settled down at the bottom. And the most popular example of a real-time application is basically a Tower of Hanoi. If you see, the Tower of Hanoi is a kind of a puzzle, right, size of the rings. So when you switch from one rod to another rod, you need to make sure you're picking it up at the top one ring and making a stack of it to organize it. Now here we have 3 rods and 4 rings, and in this way you can switch it from top to bottom, and that's called last in first out. So you enter the last one will be out first while switching from the another position. Now let's see what are the stack operation with example. So as we see the pouring water in a cup, so basically you are pushing inside, you're doing insertion. So pushing an item in a cup basically execute like called adding an in item or a data in a stack. If the stack is full, then it is said to be overflow condition. And now what will be the overflow condition? We'll see when we basically see the insertion of data at the top of the stack, and it is overflowed when it reached to the top of the top pointer of the stack. Pop basically an operation which removes an item from the stack. So basically you are taking it out, the deletion. Items are popped in the reverse order in which they are pushed, because we follow the last in first out operation concept here. And if the stack is empty, then it is said to be underflow condition. Basically when the data is at the bottom level, and since the stack is kind of an array which start from the 0, so basically bottom is equals to 0, then the stack is empty, and when you are still trying to take it out from the stack, that will call as an underflow condition. So peek and top will return the top element of stack. So these operations will help you to guess what is the status of the stack, and is empty basically returns true if stack is empty and else false. The complexity of these operations on stack basically depend on the type of number of items in a stack. So push, pop is empty, and peek type of methods all take O1 type, because basically we are following the last in first out, so it will take that much time to perform that operation. We do not run any loop in any of these operations, because there is no such loop you can implement here other than just working on the top pointer or bottom pointer. Now let's take a look at the implementation. So we have seen the best example of the stack is pouring water in a cup. So insertion and deletion basically based on the cup, size of the cup, and making it in a top and the bottom pointer. So these type of concept can be implemented many ways. One of the ways called array, implemented in array. You can use linked list, but today we are going to show you implementation in stack. There is something called util package in Java, which itself has a stack type of class, and that class has already written in all kind of stack operation methods. All we are going to use it in our class and make it simple and more efficient coding. So what are we going to expect in this demonstration? We are going to show you the options, how the stack will work like this. There will be options, a menu. First is like for insertion, like pushing data, popping data, peeking the data, display the data, list of data, empty, overload, size, and exit. So this will be the menu will be showed for the user, and user has to choose a choice, and then it will enter, then it will perform that operation. Now let's take a look at the demonstration. So this is my Eclipse IDE. First I'm going to create a class named stack demo tr, and I need the main method, of course. So in this class we have to make method implementation. We have to do some method implementation, and for that first we need to create stack, and that stack will be of any type. I'm going to consider as an integer type stack array, and name this, and size I will make it as a, because we have to make it a static size, since we need to check for pointers and make a stack with condition like underflow and overflow. So we need to have the stack which is a static size, and that size will have a top pointer which is equals to 0. Initially it will be 0. When we insert it, it will increase and have a capacity so that we can put some condition for the underflow and overflow condition. And then we'll create our push method. First, since we have the stack which is initialized to 0 and which has a 10 size, now let's start putting data in the stacks using push method. So push method will give you the insertion operation in stack, and that can be implemented in a simple way like this: stack array, and this has a size of top since it is initialized to 0, and we will have the return push value here. The error is I missed the bracket here. Now once pushing is done, we need to make sure we have to increase the top pointer. Now next is your pop. So make sure, I'll just copy this to help to understand what is the difference. In case of pop, what we need to do, we are going to have the same implementation for pop, other than we don't need any argument, and all we need to simple select the data and decrease it. So when you pop the data from the stack, it will decrease your top pointer, and it will return your data which is basically popped. So now the stack array is decrease, so this will be your top pointer. So this is supposed to be return type int. So we did the insertion and we did the deletion. The next is what for the peek. Peek means this will help you to show you basically what is the status of your stack. So that will have the return type, and all we need to call this method, it does not have any argument. If all we need to make condition that if it is empty or not. Okay, this is showing error because I have not included the Java util package for stack which contains this method. So let me add that particular method, and stack array, it has a stop, and else it will return to exit. we have to create empty method, and top equals -1. So basically it will help you to make sure that your stack is empty, or else what you can return here, size of the stack, which is equals to 0. If your size of the stack is 0 or your top pointer is equals to -1, that means your stack is empty. And okay, of course we need to return -1. So we have done insertion using push method, deletion using pop method, displaying the list and checking the status using peek method. We have implemented is empty. Now let's take a look in the condition for we need to implement full method. For full method, what we need to do is we have to have this type of signature, public boolean, which will return the boolean value, and is full. Method, and in this method we have return type, boolean return type, right? And top, if top is equals to capacity -1, or what you can do, just like for empty, return size equals capacity. That means it is over full. Both are same. So this will be your full method implementation. Now what if in case if we need to check the size of the stack? So public int size return top +1, because the stack is made up of array and that array start from 0. So make sure you have the size of the stack which is returning top +1, and that will be your size method. Termination. The size is done, so we can have the size. Now next what we need to do is displaying the stack. So for displaying the stack, डिस्प्ले का कोई मेथड नहीं, चलो ठीक है यार, ये इसमें बहुत एडिट हो जाएगा, जो भी है ध्यान से करो, तो कर दिया यार, बात भी सही। प्राइवेट है एम्प्टी वाला मेथड, एम्प्टी मेथड प्राइवेट है, नहीं रे पब्लिक है। ओके, so these are the method we are going to perform and of creating a stack. Now let's go to the main method. Here what we are going to do first, we need to have the stack, create a stack equals and your constructor and creating an object of your class. Here we need to get the value from the user, so I'm going to use the scanner to get the value from the user. Next, we have seen many ways to present the menus like using do while loop or for loop. This time I'm going to use while loop to present the menu for the user infinitely until he doesn't want to exit from the loop menu. And I'm just going to present you just having some kind of label for a better presentation. Stack demo by TechCrunch. And here we are going to make some choices for the user, but the error is here because of the done variable, which we need to create. A done variable is your initialized to false, because it is not done. So we'll put the, when user wanted to exit from the loop, we'll put it as a done equals to true, so the loop will exit from there. And first operation is your insertion, so using push method. Two is for pop. Three for peak. Four for print or display. Five is for check for empty. Six is for overload. Seven is for size. This will return the size of the stack. 8 is for exit. And here we are going to ask for the choice, enter choice. And then we'll get the value from the user, basically using choice. Key dot next dot int. Now it's showing error because I have not declared and initialized the choice variable. So choice basically start like this, choice, or we can have another thing. The value we are going to get it from the user, push value. Now the choice will create the switch variable, and here we are going to create a cases. So case 1 for the insertion. So insertion, we need to ask user to enter the integer value, enter number to be pushed. And when the user push the value, we will get it from the user using scanner. And when it is done, then we'll insert it in the stack using push method, we have called it, and variable your push value, right, the argument. And when it is done, then let's exit from this. So for exit we use break, because we need to continue with our other cases. Another one is for your pop. So case 2 is for pop. Here we need to print the value, the top value, and since stack works on last in first out, so we need to take out the value from the stack which is at the top. So the top value on the stack is deleted, or just mention this was the value which is being popped. And break. You can use some exe to make it more structured, because it will be println, the new line. It will start from the new line in the next case execution. So the third one is for the peak. So with that will give you the status of your stack. Basically it is nothing but the same, like we are displaying the stack. So for the peak operation, it will just display your stack. Case 5 to check for the empty, and that will basically have the boolean value t, which is checking for the stack if it is empty, and if in case this condition is true, this method will return true, then t is equals to true, and that will show you the status of the empty or not. Empty, the stack is empty and not empty, something like this. This stack is empty, else not empty. So, and once this is done, then after that we'll break. So case 5 is for empty, case 6 is for is full. So if in case your stack is overloaded, to check for that, let's have the case 6 overload implementation. For again this, it is going to be like same boolean value t1 equals is full, s is equals to is full. And if t1 is equals to true, the system is empty, the stack is empty. Else overloaded stack. S and the stack are both the same stack, is pointing to the same stack, so don't get confused with that, and let's break it from this case. Next is we need to check for the size. So case 7 is for size. and that will basically reading from the method we already have defined and implemented. So this will return that size of the stack already, so all we need to call that method. Now and after that break, of course, and then case 8 is for exit, and done true. We have to return this done true so that the value of the choice will be loop will be come out from the while loop. So this will help you to exit from the code program, or else you can use the system exit. But this is logic, so we are using that logic and making it done equals to true. Now in case if the user entered the wrong choice, for that you can have invalid choice. Try again. So this is the default value, and break, of course. So this will close the switch loop, and just to make it more organized, let's print quit. So we have seen insertion, and let's have some values again. And if you see the peak, that will return the topmost value of the stack, and display will display the entire stack, and 5 will check for the empty, not empty, and the 7 will return you the size, and 6 will check for the overload, and pop will delete the topmost data from the stack. So you see 334 was the last in, first out, and if you do it again, so 22 was the last another one. So let's show you so this is the only data we left here. And now if in case if you need to check if it is empty or not, it is not empty, it still has. So suppose I delete it again, and now I check for the empty, it will show you this is empty stack. So empty, overload, and display, and pop, and push, and peak, and return the size. So this is what the live demonstration and implementation of stack operation implemented in Java. Important facts. Stack is one of the very most important and popular type of linear data structure, which is used in many real-time practice projects, application, implementation, balancing of symbols, infix to postfix and postfix to prefix conversion, redo undo features at many places like editors, Photoshop, forward and backward feature in web browser, used in many algorithms like tower of Hanoi, tree traversal, stock span problem, histogram problem, and many other applications can be backtracking, night tour problem, red enemies, N queen problem, casinos for card game application, and Sudoku solver. These all are the real-time practice places project application where we use the stack type of data structure implementation. So this is all about the stack implementation in Java. In case of any questions, concerns, source code needed, please feel free to contact techcrunch2019@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more upcoming interesting informative sessions. Let's make coding fun. Thank you.